Good morning. Mortgage delinquencies increased slightly in the first quarter of 2025. What does that mean? Is the world falling apart? Is the sky falling? No, no, it's not. It's normal. It's all part of the configuration. Look, here's something you got to look at here real quick. See if I can open this up. There we go. See, it's nice and big. It looks professional. This is 2008 all the way to 2012, and things started going back down to normal. 2021, that's when COVID hit, so they just put a moratorium on that, and nothing's really changed. Yeah, things kind of popped up, but they settled out, right? These are delinquencies. These are, if you don't pay your mortgage in 30, 90 days, then you go into a foreclosure process. But these are just basic normal things. It's not anything to worry about. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we have something called Crash Bros, and they love to talk about how the market is going to crash and how the housing market is decimated and how this is a great time to buy. Right. Okay. But look, these are the numbers, right? These are mortgage 30 to 90-day delinquents from consumerfinance.gov, and it's the CFPB, and these are real live numbers. This is nationwide, and this is Santa Clara County. Let me break this so you can see it. Bigger numbers are better. Okay, so what is this telling you? We're actually headed towards a little bit of an uptick, but it's not anything crazy, right? And these are 30 to 90-day delinquencies. Sorry, I don't have a full team of producers helping me with my charts, so it's just me. Santa Clara County is 0.3% of all the mortgages that are out there, 0.3%. Same thing with the United States, all the way across the United States, 1.6 of the mortgages that we have are delinquent. It's nothing compared to 2008, where we had 3.9, right? Is it a big jump? Yeah, but it's slowly going up, mostly because affordability is out of the way. And a lot of people that bought homes that couldn't really afford it, they bought into the whole buy the house, not the rate, date the rate, not the house. Okay, whatever it is. The point is if you can afford a house, buy a house. You might not get your forever house, but you're going to get into a house and start building equity and start locking in your life economically. And what I mean by that is that you get to stop worrying about rental increases. You get to stop worrying about being evicted, or hey, my landlord's selling the house, so I have to move again, or my refrigerator never worked right, or the dishwasher never worked right, and I can't wait for my landlord to come and fix it. You economically become locked into that rate. So good or bad, that's the new mortgage. Now, let's say that we're paying, $7,500 a month for mortgage. Yes, you're paying more than what the rent would be, which is $5,000 for a 4-bedroom house, 3-bedroom house. Say $4,000 or $5,000. It's more, substantially more, but you also get to write off all of that interest. Not all of it, but that's going up to $40,000 a year. And if you average that out, it becomes more affordable for you because you get to write off stuff. Rent, you don't get to write off, right? So take that with a little thing. Now, these are delinquency rates on single-family mortgages booked in all domestic offices and all commercial banks, and we're still pretty daggone low. Q1, 1.8% of all the mortgages that are out there. Is it something to worry about? No, this is just another angle of looking at real estate and understanding where we're going as far as the market is concerned. Are we headed towards a recession? Possibly. That was cooked in the books when we voted Trump into office. Whether you like him or not, I don't really care for him. Either way, it doesn't matter. I don't vote on party lines, but you go down and figure out where the market's going. And yes, we're actually in a slow period right now. It's the summer. Rates are expensively high, atrociously high. We're trying to drop those rates down. We can't really get to the next level until rates come down. We can't bring new buyers into the market until rates come down. We've begged and pleaded for the last 2 years for supply. Now we have supply. Our inventory is growing. Well, it's actually leveling off here in Santa Clara County, but we've gone from 400 units to I think we're at 1,300 units now. So it's a good thing. We need to be about 2,000 to make it a truly balanced market, but it's artificially balanced right now because interest rates are still high. Right? We'll go into those numbers in a second. Actually, well, not why not? So we're at 1,300. We were 2 years ago. We were at 1,800, 700, 600, February 2024, it's just a year ago. We're at 700 and we're at 300 and change for single family homes. Right now we're at 600. So we've basically doubled our inventory. We've doubled our supply, and yet the buyers are just out there being picky. And I know that over the weekend, I had 6 showings on one listing and I had 5 showings on another. And they're just taking their time. They're taking their time. They're not, what is it going to take to get the house? Do I have to bid over? They're saying, this is what I'm telling you I'm going to offer for this house. And the sellers are being stubborn, which, granted, over the last 3 decades, we've gotten used to sellers telling buyers what they want and getting it, and they're a little spoiled. We're all spoiled a little bit about that, right? So inventory is where it is. If interest rates come down 0.5%, more buyers will hit the market, and then it'll come back to the firestorm. So if you're selling your house right now and you're frustrated, I would just say be patient, because rates should come down in September and you can do without what you want. Okay. I'm not saying it's going to, I said should. And if we're in the political foray that we see on the news every day, may or may not happen. We may go until January 2026 before rates come down. So who knows? Been telling people this since I think May of we just increased our real property transfer tax in San Jose to $2.3 million. This is huge because my talk about the Measure E idea was that it would stall homes from increasing over $2 million. Before July 1st of this year, homes transferred at $2 million or more quadrupled their transfer tax or conveyance tax or whatever you want to look at it. If it's over 2.3 now, 2.3 or over, you now quadruple your transfer tax, which means instead of a conveyance taxes, which is $1.10 per thousand, split 50-50 between the buyer and seller, it's now 4 times that, and it's supposed to go to housing affordability. And if you want to learn more about it, go to my blog, find this real property transfer tax thing, and the link is right there, and then you can grab it and read more about it and understand if it's actually helping people or not. It's up to you to decide that. Never should I ever tell you that it's a good thing or a bad thing. Cupertino House of the Week, $2.25 million. This is a townhouse. It's a halfplex duplex, but still it's townhouse. 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 2,500 square feet, built in 1992. via Sorrento, not my listing, and it's right off of Homestead and De Anza Boulevard. And let's take a quick look at it real quick. Real quick, because we got to go through this quick so we can go to the gym. This is a pretty house. This is nice. The problem is it's a halfplex. And why do builders do halfplexes or duplexes or whatever? Because if I could put 8 single family houses on an acre, 1/8 of an acre, I could probably put 12 units or 6 duplexes on the same acre. So I can crush more property, more houses into that same acre. And it's ultimately the greed of the developer, because they want to make more money on each sale and they want to have more sales. So if I can sell you a single family house for $1 million and I can only put eight houses on it, that's $8 million. If I could put 12 units or 6 duplexes on that same acre and I can sell it to you for $850, I'm making more money. If that makes sense. That's why halfplexes happen. So steer clear of those if you have to. They're a good option to get into your first home. Camino Pablo, this is Willow Glen House of the Week, not my listing. $2.75 million, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, built in 1972. This looks like it's a corner lot. Let's take a quick look at it. And yeah, on market 17 days and they decreased the price. The original price was 2.9, now it's down to 2.75. They're not getting the traction that they want. When should you lower your list price? Well, first of all, I argue that you should always list it lower and don't be patient. Bring the market to you, attract the market. Don't be a market maker, because if you're a market maker, you're not selling an older house that has been updated. You're selling a luxury home like this one right here. If you're selling a house that's been updated and is built in 1972 or 1952, if you miss the market and it's not attracting the traffic that you thought you were going to get, you've overpriced the house. And when you overprice a house, it's detrimental to the value of that house. Buyers ultimately tell you what your house is worth because that's what they're willing to pay. And if you overprice it, you're going to get a trickle, if not zero, traffic into your house. Sure, you're going to get a ton of people watching you on Zillow and the MLS and Redfin and all that other stuff, all the other aggregate sites, but the true rule of thumb, the true KPI is traffic, people setting up appointments to see your house, wanting to look at your house. And if you put obstacles in front of them, that's another thing, but that's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about pricing. If your house is overpriced and you get a trickle of people coming through, whether it's just showings or you have an open house, and a majority of them are neighbors, you're not doing anything for yourself. You've overpriced your house, and that's detrimental. I probably would have listed this at 2.5 and let the market bid it up. I know there's a lot of fear right now, but there's still houses selling within 7 days if you price it right. Okay, Pacific Ave, luxury house of the week. This is not my listing, which it was $2.27 million, 6 baths, 6 and 2.5 baths, 9,625 square feet, built in 1910. And this is right by the Presidio, right by the bay. So you get a lot of cool days, a lot of foggy days. And let's take a look at this gargantuan monstrosity of a luxury home. Wow, this is beautiful. Just wish it wasn't in San Francisco. I'm not a fan of going to SF. So this is how the other half lives, guys. Wow, look at this. That's beautiful. That deck is worth the $27 million right there. All right, there you go. And then lastly, let's talk about the sales data for the entire 12 Bay Area counties. Nothing super crazy is happening other than we were over $10 billion in less than half the year in revenue and sales. I think we're over 50. Yeah, we're past the half mark. $10 billion in sales. The sales volume this last week was $418 million. We sold, how many did we sell? I want to say it's 180 sales. We closed 180 sales, which brought you $418 million. The average median sales price is $2.60. The average sales price is $2.4 million in San Mateo. And then we have 240 new listings this week. So we're getting traffic. We're getting the inventory that we want, right? Getting way more inventory than what we're asking. Well, we got the inventory that we want. We just don't have the buyers coming in to say. We still have buyers coming in, but buyers are being picky, right? We had 139 houses go into contract this last week. It's not the same as 180, but it's still. If you look at Blossom Valley, this is the area I live in. We had 8 complete closings this last week. Of that, it wasn't 418,000. This number's off. We had the average sales price is 1.56, and if it's priced right, your house is going to sell at 4% over list price. What does that mean? You don't price it at market or above market. You price it just below, about 5%, and then you should get your house done. Now, when you look at averages versus location versus condition, you have to take that into account. If your house needs upgrades, needs air conditioning, needs a new pool, needs a new roof, hasn't had a new kitchen, you're not an average house, you're below average. And the proof of the pudding is if you're not getting a ton of traffic over the weekend or during the last week or the last 3 weeks, the proof is that your house is overpriced. And the buyers that are out there right now have seen your house and they decided to look at something else. Right? There you go. And look, months of inventory is jumping up right now because we're only in the halfway mark of the month. These numbers have come down quite considerably since last week, but these are the true indicator numbers right here, right? June, we're at 3.9. Santa Clara County, we're at 1.6 months of inventory. That means if we stop putting new houses on market right now, we would run out in 1.6 months, not 6, not 10 months like Napa. Napa, we're in a buyer's market, right? That's Napa right there. We've been in a buyer's market for Napa since January. Napa is a great place to buy a house. If you're thinking about buying a house for an investment purpose or whatever, that's where you want to go. You can do Airbnb, whatever you want to do. All right. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. I'm Vito with Abitano. We'll see you out there.